Hi, come and join me for Life Over Coffee with Torrie. Hi, this is Life Over Coffee with Torrie. I'm having a giggle to myself, and the reason being is that this is like, you talked about real, this is real. This is about my fourth time of trying to do this. I've had, the rubbish truck go past, man across the road trying to back out his car, dogs barking. Anyway, we said we're going to make this real conversation, and this is real conversation. I'm actually sitting outside, perusing my garden, planning ahead. If you're a gardener, you do that, don't you? You take your cup, come outside, do a bit of thinking, wave to the neighbours, all of that. But so I'm out here, so you're getting a different view, which is probably good. Let's have something different. This is ala natural. I've brushed my hair. That's it. Put my glasses on so you don't see yucky eyeballs. Okay, today's cup. It's an IKEA cup from quite a few years ago. I've got it in two different patterns. It is thick, a bit thick on the lip. I'm a bit funny about it, but it's a good cup. It's a good cup that when it's hot and I've got my coffee, tea, whatever in it, keeps my hands warm. And for some reason or another, if you're camping or you're outside, doing this with cups is what you do. The other thing is that it's really great for, if I want to have a cup of soup, this is the one. And anyway, you saw it in the previews. It's quite good. And today I want to talk about planning ahead. Planning ahead. And it comes about, I think it's in my genes. If my friends know me, I'm the plan A and B person in my friendship groups. They know that I have thought about things and I'm planned and but this morning, and this is what made me do this in the ara natural while I was thinking about it, is I was thinking about the fact that I think it's in my genes. I think I have a genetic disposition to plan. I mean, I come from parents who were, went through adversity, and maybe that's why they planned. But the other thing is too, but before we go into the planning, and we're going to talk about my grandfather in actual fact, I want to put a scenario to you. Now, this scenario is great for a dinner party, and the reason it's great for a dinner party is you will end up finding within your dinner party group who's what. All right, let me give you the scenario. If you had 6 months warning for a time of adversity that could last 3 to 5 years, what would you put in place now to be prepared? You'll find out within your little group, dinner group, who are the black marketeers who would know how to wheel and deal. You'll find the community-minded ones, the ones who will get a group and go out bush and live off the land and you've got to find somebody who knows how to use a gun. Some countries it's more easier than others. You'll also find the people who would be able to know how to be creative, have skills for survival, be it wherever. They know how to do things at home, they know how to make a cent stretch to a dollar, especially when it comes to food. And you will find other people that will actually have no idea. And that's fair enough. So the ones that have no idea, you better go and be in touch with the ones that do have an idea. And I'll tell you how this story actually started. My grandfather, my dad's dad, in Yugoslavia, well, I don't think it was called Yugoslavia then, post-war, it was called something else. He was a plane mechanic, he was a pilot, and in actual fact, he's in an aviation book, that because he used to be a test pilot. The biplanes. Biplanes were before the other planes. The single winged planes came out during the Second World War. Anyway, he used to listen to the BBC News very unusual for a person in Europe to be listening to BBC London. And the funny thing is that he did it. This is what my dad said. He did it because, and outside countries were actually saying more about what was happening in Europe than what the European news networks were doing. Now, some of it because there was censorship and on all of that, which you can totally understand. He could see that a time of adversity was going to be coming. War was on its way, or there was going to be issues. So, what he did, so says my dad, he passed away a few years ago. So says my dad, is that he did a household room reshuffle. He had twin sisters, they all moved in together. The largest room of the house by the living area was used for storage. What he actually stored was salt. He got to hold as much salt as he possibly could. That's my dog. Wait a minute. Oh, where was I up to? The dog was barking. And so the other thing that he actually did is that he got hold of as much of rubber products that he could get a hold of. So he got bicycle tubes, motorbike tubes, because that was the main mode of transport, not necessarily cars. Tyres, repair kits, soles for shoes, all different sizes, the glue for it, and he stocked up this room in a big way. His wife was actually seamstress, so he bought extra two, I think it was two, sewing machines, because people will need to repair the clothes that they've got. Not everybody had a sewing machine. And these were things that he put in place 6 months before to be able to survive through bartering. True story, absolute true story. And there's probably lots of stories about, the war years, World War II years, that people actually did to survive. The funny part about all of this is that, we don't have skills anymore. Our lives are made up of relying on the outside world a lot. We do rely on the outside world a lot. We rely on it for our food. We rely on it for our clothing. And even the basic knitting skills, gone. Sewing skills. People don't know how to do a basic put up a hem. So what would you do? What would you do to prepare for yourself for adversity? We have adversity now. We had adversity through COVID. Regardless of, how good or bad in Australia people actually complain about the government, they helped us through. They really did. And we actually survived COVID a lot better than a lot of other countries did. We acknowledge risk, which was probably the main thing. And that's maybe what it is. What can we do to plan for ahead for risk? Cost of living, the interest rates, everything's like through the roof. And that people don't keep a nest egg as much as they used to. They don't keep money in a tin anymore because we're cashless. Anyway, that's another story. What would you do? How would you do it? And I'm saying that is what my grandfather did. Okay. And we were sort of saying, I think it's a genetic. Couple of months, 3 months or so, my brother was living in Europe. He was living in Germany. And 3 months before, he was taking notice of what was actually going on. And he bought for his family, prior to him coming out, immigrating back to Australia, he got for his German family for Christmas, they all got masks. Did you believe it? This is in December. And this was before everything really hit the fan. He got the masks for Christmas. They went, don't worry about this. This will be all fine. The reality of it was, he immigrated out to Australia early February. February in Europe, they were wearing masks. Do you think they could get masks? Nah. They went really, really quickly, but his family was prepared. He gave me masks. March, poor, COVID, try to get a mask. It was really, really hard. So, yeah, maybe it is a genetic disposition in my family, planning ahead. But have a think about it. What can you do to keep planning ahead? We don't know what's going to happen in our lives, and that Do we have, is cash king? Is skills king? Should we be going off to workshops to gather as much skills as we possibly can? This is Life Over Coffee. Till next time.
Thanks for watching Life Over Coffee with Torrie. Don't forget you can subscribe or leave a comment. We'll get back with you next week.